What's going on, people? It's your man the White B. So again, big shout out to my doggy MRPK646 for coming through and boosting up the coins. So, Johnny Bash, we got an update regarding, quite a sad update really, leaked to the masses from people close to the situation regarding Minimus Duquitius Use Lessius. Yeah, that's what we're doing right here, man. I feel bad for this dude, man. The Thunder are looking at us. Look at this guy, man. I feel bad for him. Essentially, you've seen the title. We got the leaked footage. Yeah. Let's play it. This is Dubois. Hours before the fight. And this is what's going on. I might even make it big. You don't need to have it big. You come on now. Oh, I want it big. I want it big. You, where the pause at, man? Don't tell me that. No, we're getting it. You're getting it small today. Still, here we go. Look at this footage here. Who's that? DMX? Look at this no teeth DMX looking at us, dude, man. Where they dig him up? I thought he was dead, man. How they find this guy at, man? The UK no teeth nitty DMX looking at us, dude, man. Get him out of here. Yeah? No new friends. What happened to that? I thought Stan Dubois was based. Look at this cat here all sweating and shit. He off the rock, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. He got this cat here, this Nick here off the rock, man. I can just tell. He got that rock sweat. Yeah, he off the ready rock. He off the freeway Ricky. That's what he off.
Right, guys, come on. Let's go. That would be fun.
So, we definitely know this is Dubois' yard. That's his car there. I saw it in one of the documentaries. A bunch of hood dudes are there. And it gets worse. I'm going to play you a clip from Talk Sport. Now, they obviously allegedly have some more information. So we'll play that. Essentially, Simon Jordan says, and in fact I hear, let's replay this again a second. If you listen carefully, you hear someone say, let's go now. Listen.
Guys, come on.
There we go, you hear that? Listen.
Guys, come on. Guys, come on. Guys, come on.
Hey guys, come out. So this is a shambles, man. You do if you're gonna do this at all, you do it after the fight. Danny looks, I don't know, man. Danny, people say I don't know what he's slow or not, what chromosomes are or aren't there, but he's like, he's smiling, but it's an awkward smile. He don't seem relaxed. And even myself, if you're around a bunch of people that you don't know, do you really want to be doing that? Even a bunch of people you do know. Yeah, I don't really like being around people that much anyway. I like my own space and whatnot, but Danny might be similar. He don't seem to be, apart from a few brass, that's what he should have done. But I wonder about these old heads, man. Danny need the brass. He don't need a bag of man. What is this? Yeah, didn't boy better know tell you, man, 20 years ago, there's too many man. We don't need no more. What's wrong with Stan? I thought he was an old school yardie, man. What's with this? Bunch of dudes. It's not. Where the brass at, man? Where they at? Yeah? Bag of man. Way too many man. That's the truth here. Oh, YB, this put him off. No, it wasn't the fact that it put him off. It was the fact there was way too many man there. Just a bag of man. We don't need that crusty foot, no teeth having man at that. Right? We don't need no more of that. Come on now. You fighting for the Undisputed Championship. Yeah? What's no teeth DMX doing there, man? What's he supposed to do? And all these men here, they're there for, they don't care about Dubois as such. They care about the Instagram opportunity. They're all there with their phones out. Look who I'm with. It's cringe. It's icky, honestly. Yeah? I don't know Dubois, but if I was around Dubois, I'd be staying out of the way, minding my business, honestly. I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't ask him for a photo anyway, even if I was with him. But you get the point. I'd have empathy that he's got to fight. The last thing he wants is all camera and a bunch of music on and it's all kicking off. I assume Dubois is quite flat and calm. I don't think I've never seen him. Yeah, he's not like McSniff, for example. This looks like a McSniff. And even then, McSniff in his prime, he might have been doing it, even not in his prime. I never saw no videos of this really. We saw Conor McSniff, doing a madness after the fight. I never remember him bugging out before. This is like unprecedented. Yeah? Too much energy overload, particularly for someone like Danny Dubois, in particular. And anyone, I've never heard of it before. I've never heard of it. Oh, we've got a big fight coming, so we're going to have a pre-fight party. Yeah? Okay, now here's some more evidence we got. This is, what's his name? This is Simon Jordan.
There was a party at Daniel Dubois' house, ordered by his father, with about 70 people at the house.
The day of.
The afternoon of. The afternoon of.
Was Daniel there?
Yes.
Was Daniel there?
And the people that were there were not known to Daniel, to such a point that Daniel actually asked his father if he could go out for a drive because he didn't know anybody there.
That is insane. Sorry.
And then beyond that, you'll see footage of it. The entourage, this party that Daniel doesn't seem to know anybody of, were all coming to the fight.
All right, we'll stop it there. So we've already heard in the video it doesn't sound like Stan Dubois. It sounds to me like someone almost like Dubois' security. Yeah, get out now. Let's go out now. Kind of thing. Danny's like, awkward smile. You know when you meet aunties you never met before? It reminded me of that. Well, you know what I mean? People, your nan's friends. It's like, yeah, this is dead. Where the brass? Yeah. You know when you meet your nan's friends and you're thinking, hey man, ain't you man got granddaughters out here, man? Where the granddaughters at, man? I ain't trying to be hanging around with a bunch of old folks with no teeth in their mouth. Come on now, right? That's what it's like. You're grinning to, yeah. Oh, you were so cute when you were young. Dubois giving me them type vibes. Where's the video we got? Let's get it up again. Awkward smile. And Dubois, he's awkward anyway. It would have been overload for him. Some people say he's autistic or whatever. Too much noise and new faces and new... It wouldn't have mattered. Listen, this ain't no excuse, man. He'd have got punched up either way. It wouldn't matter if there was no one there. It wouldn't matter if it was full of Brazilian brass, for what that's worth. Yeah? He'd have got punched up. I'm not making excuses for him. Minimus duquitius uselessius. It is what it is, man. But he's like putting his hand up and it's just too much. It's too much, man. You got all these new friends here. They've got no etiquette either. I've got to be honest here. They've got no etiquette. They've got no... It's all about, I need to get the Instagram. It's all about me. There's no, hey man, this guy's fighting. Let's just calm down a bit. And even if you're there, just post up. There was a few man posted up outside and whatnot. If you've got to be there, just you ain't got to be that... Yeah? You ain't got to be DMX with no teeth, man. Off the rock. Okay? Look at this guy here, man. Yeah? Look at DMX here. He's doing too much. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Yeah? He's doing too much. Look at this guy here, look. Look at this guy. Doing way too much, man. Look at this guy, look. Just doing too much. Yeah? Doing too much. This cat here, he's breath hot. I ain't gonna lie to you, man, about it right now. If I was to bet, he's breath hot. Yeah? He's been on the pipe all morning. He ain't brushed his teeth from a few days ago. He's been on the pipe all day and night. He gets to Danny D, not brush his teeth. Yeah? Beaver teeth looking, get this beaver nick out of him, man. He ain't bringing nothing to the table, man. This is the biggest fight of your life. You got to be very selective. And I used to give Stan Dubois a lot of credit, but this ain't it. The security had to step in and say, yeah, let's try and move it on now. Because if you know someone, if I was doing security for Daniel Dubois and I've been around him for ages, you know what someone's like, and you'd pick up on, hey, he's feeling a bit awkward here. Let's try and move this along. There's no way Dubois wouldn't know 50 old heads like that. These are all old heads. These are Stan Dubois' friends. Yeah? How would Dan ever know these man? They're like 50. They got no teeth. Right? He wouldn't know them. Now if they were... Listen, don't get me wrong now. If this video was in there and there's a bunch of South American mamacita, yeah? I'd say, okay, that's probably Danny D. He called him in. Because he's got a taste for it, like we've explained before. He got a taste for the Brazilian broads. And he can't help himself. That would be on Dubois, right? We could say, oh well, his legs was weak. His legs did look. His legs weren't even just weak. They were stiff and weak. That would make sense, but it was a bag of man. So it's Stanley D's. This is Stanley D's fault. Yeah, Stanley D, no good. He's got lost in the sauce. The AJ fight went well, and he started believing his hype, which is crazy again for an old head. We thought Stan Dubois was stoic and old school. He's new age as the rest of them. Yeah, come round. My son's fighting. I want everyone to bask in our glory that we haven't achieved yet. Very odd. So even the old school man, they're getting new age. Yeah? They're getting new age. This ain't it, man. This ain't it at all. I don't know who advising these, man. I'm new age, but I would never... I need to show how great I am, so come look at my son. Before, listen, after we've done the business, it makes sense. Do what you want. Before? Really? It's nuts. Here's some more bars from Simon Jordan.
All coming to the fight, but they weren't. If you could go out for a drive because he didn't know anybody there.
That is insane.
And then beyond that, you'll see footage of it. The entourage, this party that Daniel doesn't seem to know anybody of, were all coming to the fight, but they weren't allowed in the arena. And so on the way in, they're being asked by security as to the reasons why they come in, and Daniel is being stopped and told. I think his father told security that unless you let these guys in, he's not fighting.
Oh, that is sorry.
How disruptive.
That is very... No, that is a different story altogether. That is insanely disruptive. Wow.
I mean, we're talking about fighters being regimental on the day and superstitious on the day, and some fighters want to wear a ring in their laces and all that sort of stuff. And it all has to be on point for you to go in there, because, like you say, like any little thing can throw you off.
Wow, the cabal juice is crazy, man. I'm dying, man, slowly. But listen, Stan Dubois, he knew age, man. He a TikTok star. That's the bottom line here. Yeah? He want to be a TikTok star all in the video. I don't know what is with these pops, man. These pops don't have to play their position, man. Yeah? You're supposed to be the crazy creator. You just post back in the cut. You know, a bit like Al Heyman. That's how I thought Stan Dubois was. You never really see him. I thought he was like Al Heyman. He'd post up like this, just plotting. Yeah? And the work goes on behind closed doors. He gets a little piece of fame, and he's not actually in the video, which is odd, but it's almost like he needs social validation. Look at what I've created, kind of thing, which is common in quite a lot of people, but still, putting your social validation ahead of what your son has to do and having no consideration for him. Maybe, I mean, there is a positive angle. You could spin this on, maybe Stan Dubois is a different man, and maybe some people are kind of social creatures, and maybe it would get them up. A sense of community. Does that make sense? A sense of community. We're all going to war. I'm bringing the men in with me. But you got to know what type of man you're dealing with, and in general, it's a bit too much. You got if you were going to bring people in, it can't be randoms. These would have to be people in your camp. Like Usyk has quite a big camp, I think. You see him 15, 20 man, but he's probably living with 15, 20 man for the last 10 years, so you're cohesive. You wouldn't have Usyk coming in with 20 man he's never met before, right? Factor in on top of that the fact I think Dubois has some little social things going on that he's not possibly on the spectrum, is what I'm saying. I don't think he's square down the middle. He's probably on the spectrum somewhere with something. That's why he said I want to go for a drive, because he wants to get out of there. Too much going on. And I empathise with that. I'm not as extreme as that, but I don't really like being with a bunch of people. I think that's quite common. There are some men, though, who want to be talking to everyone I've never met before. Not so much myself. And Dubois is even more so that way. Yeah? And Stan didn't really... It wouldn't have made a difference. Like I said, it wouldn't matter if he had the best prep before. But it shows that Stan Dubois' influence is somewhat played out now, if I'm honest. It's played out. Because in reality, when it came to it, we was giving him, I was sucking him off, I'll be honest with you. I was sucking Minimus Duquitius Uselessius off. I was. Hands in. Oh, AB, you was sucking him off before. I told you that, though. Whenever I told you I wasn't. I told you I sucked Johnson off. I told you I sucked Fury off. Don't come and tell me that. This ain't Hat Man. Put my hands right in the air. This ain't no other Corley channel. Oh, yeah, I did say that anything could happen, so I was right. Hands straight in the air, man. I sucked him off. What can you do but tell the truth? I sucked him off hard, man. No, did he? Yeah? But the fact is, things have changed now. We've got new information. He's useless and stiff. Yeah? And he bumped my shmoney. Most importantly, top bumped the taxpayers' money, to be fair. Yeah? That's on him. Don't come knocking my door. Oh, AB, the HMRC are looking for where that coin you lost from the government went. That'll be on Danny D at the end of the day, man. Nothing to do with me. I'll pass him your number, for real. But yeah. We've got one more clip, I believe. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you cannot, again, this mustn't be used as an excuse.
Oh, come on, people. Moody Instagram, man.
For Usyk's excellence. But when you have parties at the house before the event and you've got 50, 60, 70 people in a party
doesn't make sense.
that the kid doesn't know and then has to go around the corner and drive because he doesn't know any of the
This is what
party.
you're hearing.
And then you get to an event and people want this entourage to be brought in and then start telling security guards that if the entourage isn't allowed to come in, Daniel's not going to fight. And then the father has other things to say in the corner, which I don't think are particularly productive. Once upon a time, it was considered to be useful because Daniel, you can see it, Daniel defers to his father on everything. Everything he does, he looks for his dad. And I'm not suggesting this father hasn't been a massive influence in what we saw and what we've seen now, but I think there's a balance between being an influence and a destructive force.
Where's Don Charles?
Well, I think the bottom line is with this one, Stan should have been in the corner, like Devin Haney's daddy. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't see the point in doing that. It's like Dan's only looking out the ring. You might as well Standers might as well get in the corner. Have Don Charles train him all year, and then Standers be in the corner. Because I'm not being funny. There's very little. There's a few times that there's some clutch trainer moments, but it's not rocket science. Yeah, it's not really. It's mainly motivational at that point. You're giving them key pieces of information. I never get why trainers. There's like, yeah, double jab, slip, roll under. No one's going to remember that when you're in a fight. And Dubois said that after the fight. People were telling me to go to I was in a fight. You're not really, especially Dan, he's not got the most IQ. And even if you've got loads of IQ, Floyd would rarely listen to his daddy. Floyd would go and do what he wants, really. You see what I mean? Most fighters are going to do what they want. Because it's easy for a guy on the outside to say, yeah, pop, pop, roll, roll, bosh, bosh. It's different when you're in there. It's not a static situation. You're not fighting a wall. If you were fighting a wall, then you could just go in there and have your way. But it's like a 5-dimensional situation going on there. You've got cardio, which limits you. You've got your opponent who's doing God knows what, etc., etc. The speed is another factor. They're saying do this, do that, but you can't get off a 3-punch combination if the guy's moving around and twatting you in the face every time you try and do something. So it's one of them ones. You might as well have Stan in there. I don't get why he's posted that. Or maybe not. Okay, maybe you bring. I've seen Chief Seconds talking over a trainer before, so you could, rather than Dan's like looking over here, you might as well have a trainer like Don Charles and then Stan as the head dabber. Yeah, the head dabber in chief. But I think possibly Stan doesn't want to be directly in the ring. Why not? I think because when it goes tits up here, he wants plausible deniability. That's the only reason I can explain why he wouldn't want to be right there. It can't be, oh, but YB, he defers to the trainer's experience and whatnot. Because if that was the case, he'd say, listen, no, to be fair to Stan, at one point he was doing that. To be fair to Stan, yeah, when Dubois' career first started, he was sitting. You wouldn't even see him on the front row, I don't believe. He'd post up in the cut. He would. And then Frank Warren, to be fair to Stan, it was Frank Warren who said, in the Miller fight, I believe, go on, Stan, get in there, he's listening to you. And that's what encouraged it. You'd never see Stan in his defence. It was Frank Warren chilling it. And the fact that it worked in the Miller fight, it worked in the Hrgovic fight, you're only as good as your last fight. And I was praising Stan. It was hard to make an argument against his influence being good at that point, because you were seeing Dubois being more resilient in the past. But no, this is the thing, when things fall apart, everyone... If Dubois was having a party before the AJ fight, we'd have all come on here and said, wow, the community spirit got him hyped up. In fact, I saw videos, what's his name? Dubois and Stan were in some little minibus and they were playing yard tunes. And it was like, yeah, man, he's too ital, he's too strong, right? So you can't have it all the ways. It's what it is, what people do, what the public do. I wouldn't advise it in general. If any party, it should be a team type party. The people you've been around for the last 2 months get together and just mingle like you normally. It's got to be pretty consistent. I wouldn't bring new heads in that you never met before. Now, Don Charles, this is potentially what makes it more worrying. Don Charles and Boxing King Media have a dispute. This is the first video after the fight, and the dispute is about Dubois apparently turned up late. He didn't get there to 8 o'clock. Bear in mind you're walking at 9:45. Yeah, which doesn't sound like, well, the point is, it's quite rushed. I think AJ got there 3 hours before in one of his Saudi cards. What fight would that have been? Oh no, Ngannou, something like that. I think AJ might have been late for the Dubois one. He was stuck in traffic or something. So who knows? But it could be correlated. They're partying, but they weren't really partying, was they? But who knows? Here's the bars from Don Charles anyway.
I was going to quickly break down the night. You know, the first thing I wanted to speak to you about, Don, is your arrival time at the arena, because I was backstage and I heard Usyk's team, they had media, the cameramen were going in whilst he was wrapping up, and I assumed you guys were at the venue, but I think the moment you guys arrived around 8:30, I think it was, he was wrapping up at that time. So could you kind of explain the late arrival?
No, it wasn't a late arrival. As long as you got 2 hours to prepare, that's fine with me, okay? I was in contact with Daniel for the time for him to get there. There was a cut-off line he made. He made the cut-off line, so absolutely no complaints. People, it's optional when you rap. We had more than ample time. None of that, all the lead-up was spot on, you know, spot on. I actually don't like my fighters to be in the venue for too long. We needed 2 hours for the prep, tune up, mentally and physically. So on that front, whatever you notice, that's what they're opted to do, to wrap their hands half an hour earlier than us.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
So is it possible Don Charles says that Dubois basically just made his cut-off time 2 hours before? I'm not a boxer, I wouldn't know. I'd rather be there in more time than not enough. Think about it, okay, you get in there, I don't know what he does, he probably has a stretch and whatnot. Yeah, I'd rather I think 3 hours. I think what Usyk did is what I'd probably do. I also agree that you don't want to be there 6 hours, just hanging around the place. But are they correlated? Simon Jordan says that Stan Dubois was trying to execute his power. Well, we're not fighting if the Mandem can't come in. Yeah? We're not fighting if the no-teeth DMX looking dudes can't come in. Yeah? That would have took a bit of time. Clearly, assuming that's the case, once you've pulled that Uno card, you're going to have some ego. Stan Dubois, no doubt, double down, and it was back and forth. The security guards are contacting the promoters and all that kind of stuff's going on. That's going to take time, make you later. What's the partying aspect? Bearing in mind, if it's true that Stan Dubois brought their man to the place, that's all going to take time too. Getting a bunch of man there, driving there, parking up, that's going to take extra time. Dubois normally would just drive right through, right? I don't know, I wouldn't be sure if they let in 10, 15 cars through, just like that. That all takes time. And listen, end of the day, man, it's not ideal, but it would have made a scrap of difference. He could have been there 4 days before. He could have been sitting in that room. It'd have made no difference. He ain't got the skills. Yeah, he ain't got the skills. He's made, apparently, I said yesterday he made 20, 30 mil. Apparently he's made 70 million. I don't believe that. That's ridiculous if he did. 70 million. Yeah? 70 for that. That's crazy, man. He's heavy, honestly, man. I wish I was bigger. If I was 6'4" and about 5 years younger, I'd love to have a go in here. The worst happens, you end up like Dave Allen. If you can talk right, the worst happens, you end up like Dave Allen. And you're still up $1 million. You don't even have to train. You see what I mean? It's nuts, man, the amount of money, especially in these turkey times. Ridiculous. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? 70 mil. He made probably another 20, 30 off the AJ fight. He's laughing. Yeah? The continent of South America is laughing. They're going to be the net recipients of that 100 million, if I'm honest. I don't think 10 years from now, I don't think Dubois will have retained much. Yeah? The state of South America will salute Dan Dubois and his generous donations to the cause of the top tier bras. But yeah, man, listen. I feel bad for Dan. He seems... Listen, he's doing better than me. If I could swap lives with him, I would. I'm going to be honest with you. If I could push a button right now, I'd push it now and take the 100 mil and give her. Yeah? So he's doing better than me, but still I feel sorry for him because he doesn't... He's got a weird relationship with his dad. Maybe it's because his mum wasn't around and he's kind of attached. I don't know what... He seems a bit like a boy still. He's become more and more mannish, but he doesn't really know what he wants to do, apart from jack it in kind of thing. That's his go-to. I'll jack this in. I'll just jack now, unless he's on top. Yeah, you don't really get much. Well, we can't listen. I was glazing him after the AJ fight. Yeah, and he did come out of himself, right? After the AJ fight, he went, "Are you not entertained?" Yeah, I don't believe his trainer would have told him to do that, right? So he knows the right things to be saying. That was top tier. But then he hasn't applied that. Are you not entertained? Gladiatorial situ to his Usyk fight. Usyk punched him back into type, put him back in his box, playing with crayons and building blocks. That's how it looked to me when he was sitting there like this. It looked like he was a child playing with building blocks on the floor. He just didn't seem to be locked in and get up and have a go and get knocked out again. But listen, he would have got knocked out. Well, assuming Usyk can punch. It would have been one or the other. Either he would have been put down so many times or would have been starched. I'm not sure which. But yeah. I hope he comes back. Well, I don't really care. I think his career will be like a top tier Johnny Fisher. For me, there were shades of Johnny Fisher in there. Dubois elite Johnny Fisher. But there's shades of... He doesn't really know what he's doing in there. So we need big stiff idiots to fight with. That's what he needs to do. I don't see him... Anyone who knows how to box properly. Even someone like a Fury. Well, I wouldn't mind seeing it. But even a Fury, though, I think... You see, remember how easy Fury made Chisora look? I think it might look something similar like that. The way he's wide open... I think... Listen, if Dubois clips him, Fury's going to be in trouble. But if he don't, Fury could play with Dubois. I'd look at the odds. Dubois would be a massive underdog, so I'd probably back him and he'd get knocked out. He'd get knocked out. But yeah, I can see how Fury plays with Dubois. Because the thing is, you have to be tough. To beat Fury, you're either going to have to get really lucky early on, or you have to be tough enough to take some shots and not get disheartened. Because we've seen Fury arguably play with Usyk for the first half of the first fight. He was pretty comfortable. I think rounds 4, 5 and 6 he won. So he was making that look pretty alright. So there's no doubt Dubois is probably going to have some trouble in the first 6. Does he get disheartened? Does he get hit with a big shot? I don't know. It's not going to happen anyway. Fury's not going to fight Dubois, but still. He's not going to go away. He'll hang around, and what fight's next for him? Miller rematch, maybe. Miller's going to be there to hit. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Bacoli. Yeah? I wouldn't mind seeing that. Dubois versus Bacoli. I'd have Bacoli though, for what it's worth. I would have Bacoli. I'd have Bacoli. Because Ajagba's got good feet. Dubois not so much. I got Bacoli. Dubois versus Okoli. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But these are all fights where he's not going to crack 5 mil. Even in the... He's made 30 for the AJ fight, let's assume. 50 for the Usyk fight, let's assume. He's not going to get... Turkey's not going to pay Dubois 5 mil to fight Okoli. Or Bacoli. Or Jerome Miller. They're going to be 1 or 2 mil fights, I'd assume. Or 3 mil fights, maybe. Yeah? So who's he going to fight? Is AJ going to want him? AJ's not going to want him. Usyk's made it look easy. Does AJ want to prove a point I can beat Dubois? I doubt it very much. He'd have fought Dubois if he was undisputed now, but he's not going to do it now. So there's limited angles. He's not going to be... Dubois not going to... Let's say Italma beats... What's his name? Dillian White. Dubois not going to want to go in there with Italma. Again, how much is he going to make for that? It's rumoured Dillian White's getting 2 or 3 mil. Is Dubois going to want 4 or 5 mil for that fight? I doubt it. If you've got 100, why are you... It's not much out there now for Dubois. Zhang, don't think he's going to want that either. But then again, to Dubois' credit, he's been written off before after Usyk won. And he came back and he fought more or less all of the contenders in the rebuild. So he's done it before. He's not afraid to. But that was before he made 100 mil though, wasn't it? That was before the AJ and Usyk 2 fight. He hadn't really made that kind of money yet. Don't get me wrong, he was a millionaire. Probably 8-figure millionaire, almost definitely an 8-figure millionaire, even after taxes at that point. Well, maybe not, but yeah, there or thereabouts. 10 mil there or thereabouts, I assume he had. It's a bit different when you got 100, and you got a baby here now. You got the whole UK to South America pipeline set up. Yeah? Do you know how much time you can spend on your phone scrolling through brass, and you take your whole day up flying this one in, you get the endorphins, the dopamine drop in, that one flies in for a week, you fly that one back, you can just get consumed in that lifestyle, that debaucherous lifestyle, for sure. Yeah, ask Elon Musk, he know about that. He's always flying a brass in. Here's Elon Musk, he loved them ones. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like with the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this. Some people stop it. Johnny, bah.